Hello, everyone, and welcome to another edition of Taking Over. I am, of course, OLED Ed Fries, joined, as always, by the natural Astrid Bizarro. Astrid, you've had a busy week. How are you doing?
I'm still a bit cold, okay? The cold weather's my way this way now.
Wait. No. No. Fuck you in the cold weather. I
It's
don't
my
want to
version
hear
of
it.
cold weather.
Your version of cold weather. I don't want to hear it. We haven't hit over 20 degrees in almost a week. I've got 2.5 feet of snow outside that I had to shovel 4 times in one day just to make sure I didn't have to shovel all 2 feet of it at once.
But for the people that don't know,
Yeah.
this doesn't happen in Florida, just so you know.
It's 38 degrees. She's still above zero. Mind you, the rest of us in this group are either me in New England or Canadian.
Well,
That trip you're about to take to New York is going to be a rude awakening, my friend.
hey, I've been to New York. I've been in the snow before. I know what it's like. I know it's gonna be really cold. I'm already mentally prepared for it. Getting there. I got it. I got layers and layers.
Bobby, I checked Twitter for the first time today, like a half an hour ago. And as Astrid came in the room, she said something completely silly that I didn't even notice because I was so entranced on things that were going on Twitter. And again, for all of you that don't know what's going on Twitter, don't worry. You'll find out when you see my recorded segment for taking over this Sunday, for Point of View this Sunday, when Andre and Bobby inevitably talk about the thing that I'm going to rant about in a little bit. But first, I have to get through this show. And this show is talking about Limitless Wrestling. You can see the handles up there, LW Main, Limitless Wrestling on YouTube. They also broadcast on Independent Wrestling TV. They are a fantastic promotion that I adore watching on as much as I can basis. I want to say regular basis. I want to watch them more regularly. But there's so much wrestling that we've started to find that it's hard to watch everything as often as you can. This show took place from the Coliseum in Lewiston, Maine. For those of you that don't know, this is a very historic venue. They mentioned it once or twice, and I don't know if Astrid caught why this venue is so historic. Do you know the answer to this question?
No, sir.
This venue happened to be the home of one of the most controversial big-time boxing matches in the history of the world. One of the most famous boxing photos in the world took place in this venue under a different name at the time. But everybody's seen this photo. This is the photo of Muhammad Ali standing over Sonny Liston. This photo was taken from the exact venue that we're talking that this show came from tonight. The reason why that photo is so great is because Muhammad Ali seemingly missed Sonny Liston on that punch, and Sonny Liston fell down in the first round and lost the fight by TKO. He did not answer the 10 count. It was a phantom punch. It is considered one of the biggest potential fixed fights in the history of boxing. But it's one of the most iconic boxing photos of all time. I didn't know until they mentioned on the show that it was historic, and I had to look up why. And I found that. I'm like, oh, this is cool. This is interesting. I really like that. Other things to note about this venue is this venue seats 1,900 people in a general capacity. However, for a wrestling capacity, this show, which was mostly sold out, I don't think it was completely sold out because I do believe there were tickets available right before the show because I did look at going to this show. It is about 3 hours away from me, and tickets were anywhere from $80 to $60 and $40. And I was like, plus a 3-hour drive, I'm good. However, this venue supposedly sold 2,200 tickets for this match, for this card tonight, which is pretty big for an indie show. Granted, it's a good card, but it is indeed a historic show for multiple levels. This show also is the first time that we had in the history a WWE and an AEW championship defended on the exact same show.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and it had to be this guy.
Well, I mean, if it's going to be anybody, it was always ever going to be this guy.
Yuck.
And we'll get to that guy in a bit. But we're going to go ahead and start. Ashton, what did you think of Johnny Torres and Top Shelf Troy Nelson, along with Sam Laterna as our ring announcer? What'd you think?
I love Sam. This is cool. I like the commentary, especially. My favorite part in the whole commentary was during the Rumble match, because there were so many aspects that when somebody would come in, it's like, oh, this person has their history with so-and-so that's in the ring already. They were tag team partners before, they got betrayed before, or they just had a match and this happened. And they will give you a lot of background with whoever was interacting in the ring at that time. And I like that, even though I don't really watch it like that, being the first time that I watched this company, I like that they gave me so much insight that I had no idea about. They gave me so much history, especially towards the end. I feel like they highlighted a lot more than usual. But I liked, that was my favorite match with commentary during the whole night, though.
I think commentary did a really good job throughout the night. I thought the semi-heel commentator, Johnny Torres, did a really good job of being that kind of prototypical heel. I thought Troy Nelson did a really good job of telling us the action and kind of going through spot by spot. I thought it was really good. This show is really new. It was 10 days ago. I really wanted to get this show on the air as quickly as I could, because I had seen the card building over the last few weeks and knew I wanted to talk about it. We all love Sam Turner. I think she's great. She's fantastic. It was nice to see her. EPC show. Yeah, it was like EPW show. Look at this. We're talking about AEW and Conrad shows up. That's how things work around here. We'll get to the AEW representation because, oh boy, is there a lot of it.
Mm-hmm.
More than half this card had AEW participation in some form or fashion. Hello, Conrad. We greatly appreciate it. And by the way, if you do need an AEW post show, EPW show is where you need to be every Wednesday night. They do a fantastic job. It's where if I want to know what's going on in AEW and I don't watch the show along with one of our great friends of the channel, whether it be, Tony. What's Tony's channel? Get the Tables with Tony. Or if it's not our great friends, Ophelia and Jamie. Yeah. All kinds of great people who do great watch-alongs, but Conrad is one of the few who I know who does a fantastic post show. So make sure you go ahead and check that out when you get the opportunity. Let's go ahead and jump right into the action here. In our first match, our opening contest of the evening, we're defending the Limitless World Championship. That tells you how big this show is. In the opening match, we're defending the title. Bobby's going to have issues with this, because I know Bobby, and Bobby always thinks that the main event of any show should be a championship match. I most of the time agree with Bobby on this, that if you're going to have a title match on your show, it should almost always be your main event, especially when it's this good. Speaking of which, this main event featured Donovan Dijak with our lovely friend, Sidney Bakabella, taking on the champion, Dezmond Cole.
No. That was my downfall this whole show. Having Sidney,
the Sidney was everywhere.
Not twice, but 3 times in this whole show.
No. 4 times.
Oh my God.
So much Sidney Bakabella. So much Sidney. He was everywhere. By the way, I love that he had a new wig for every portion of the show, too. Yes, there are a few times where it makes sense, otherwise, but rare. I liked it here. I thought this was the right call, because this was a way to get the crowd on their feet. The crowd was into it from the word go, and these guys delivered. This match was sensational. I know you weren't here to watch the Fight Life show that I covered with Dezmond Cole on it, so you haven't had an opportunity. Talk to me about your thoughts on Dezmond, because we've talked glowingly about Donovan Dijak multiple times, and don't worry, we'll talk glowingly about him in a few minutes. But talk to me about Dezmond Cole, Big Boofa, if you will.
But I was gonna say, I thought we watched him in another one of the companies. I can't recall, but I think I've seen it once before. This wasn't the first time I watched him that I can.
Okay.
I was trying to picture what show we did that I thought we had him on before. Um, but still, it was really impressive though to watch him because I kept thinking about it this way. Dijak is a really, really tall guy, like really tall. And Dezmond, I was gonna say he's like there. He's probably like in the category of short king, I guess you would put him in. But I like the fact that for somebody who is so short compared to Dijak, he really took control of Dijak for so much of this match. And he found so many ways to bring him down to his own height and made him like feel small in some type of ways in so many different versions of like what he did, whether it was kid submissions, whatever it was, he really made him feel smaller than what he is. And not only that, the way he just picked him up so smoothly, it didn't feel like Dijak was Dijak. It felt like it was a different person. Because it's like, how do you pick up somebody like Dijak the way he does? I have no idea how he did that. It was really impressive to watch. And not only that, but having to do all that while also always picking up his speed the way he was, it was so impressive how he was able to do everything basically almost all at once, if you think about it that way. So that was something that really shook me in this match because I look at it this way. I see, oh, Dijak is in here. Dijak is going to control the whole match. It's going to have a slower pace because he's the bigger guy. And even though he's really quick most of the time, but he's a bigger guy. So he's going to slow down the match and then he's gonna take over and bring water away. That was my vision of this whole match at first. And Dezmond just completely changed that for me since it started. I was so surprised with everything here. And gave him so many moves like that. I was so surprised. Like the power bomb at one point that he did to him was really impressive. And the way he just reversed like the choke slam that Dijak was starting to do on him too. But holy crap, I was so impressed with this dude. That's why I said I feel like I've seen him before. I'm trying to recall what show we did that maybe I've seen him before. But if I didn't, that's the first time maybe. But either way, I was like, he was great. I just don't remember if we watched him for Wrestling Open before because I feel like
I was gonna say
before.
I feel like it would have been a Wrestling Open if it had.
Yeah.
Like I said, I know I got to talk about him on the Fight Life show that you were unable to make, and I did that one by myself. And he had a really good outing here. He was sensational tonight. I loved this match. The thing I loved is the times where Dijak would do a massive move and he would just bounce. Like, not bounce like a basketball. He would bounce and then get back to his feet and beat Dijak to his feet. Like, there was one where he got chokeslammed and basically kipped up as he hit the ground and was just standing there as Dijak's just looking at him. And Dijak's, my mama fries with the quote of the night, could his mouth be any bigger? As Dijak just went like full gaping mouth on it. And it was just, it was so good. Yeah, Cole picked up the pace and Donovan hung every single beat of this match. It was the perfect meshing of styles, the power of Dijak at the speed of match that Dezmond needs to run. It made both of these guys look like incredible beasts. And it didn't just go 5 minutes. It didn't just go 10 minutes. This damn thing went 13 and a half minutes. It's hard to go that fast, that hard, that powerful, and then go 13 minutes. Because we'll talk about the other match that tried to do the similar thing, but the guy, the champion, was a bit more intelligent about how to make a long match work. I love that rid of this match. This, I thought, was going to be my match of the night until we get to something a bit later. And if you've seen my Twitter, you already know what my match of the night is, because I already told people that I think it's my early contender already for match of the year. I think a couple matches from here is already on my short list of match of the year candidates. And we're not even out of January yet. Donovan Dijak gets the win with the Feast Your Eyes. It was the third attempt at Feast Your Eyes. He gets the big win. He is now the Limitless Wrestling Champion. Also, the visual of him coming out with the BST title, the Blood, Sweat, and Tears Championship, with the MLW Tag Team Championship around his waist. Oh, chef's kiss on the, just the presentation of Donovan Dijak from Limitless Wrestling. The way they made him, just from the moment he walked through the curtain, you knew he's a big deal. You didn't have to know who Dijak was at all. He's carrying 3 championship belts. One of them is a television company. We'll give MLW television company for now. But no, yes, I had a feeling you might keep your mouth shut on that one. But this was a sensational match. I really enjoyed this match. 13 minutes, 35 seconds, and new Donovan Dijak. Sensational way to open the show. Great match. Had a lot of fun with this. Can't wait to see more of this. I was excited to hear Asher talk about Dez, because Big Boofa. By the way, I still don't know what a Big Boofa is, so don't ask me. I have no clue. I'm not with the lingo. I'm sure it has some kind of connotation. I don't know what the fuck it is. But he has a get up and go vibe. He really gets the crowd going. He feels like, and Ashford, I think you'll be a really good judge of this one because you've been a long time TNA fan. He feels like a young R-Truth, a Ron Killings from a TNA days. He's got that K-Quick style of wrestling with that R-Truth kind of like vibe from old school TNA.
You also reminded me of Xavier Woods when he was in TNA too. I think about it. Consequences Creed. That's a throwback for you all.
Wow, a Consequences Creed reference. Good God. We have definitely talked about this match too long if we're talking about Consequences
Doesn't it feel weird
Creed.
though? When you look at Consequences Creed versus Xavier Woods, Consequences look older than Xavier does now.
Oh God, yeah. He was in terrible shape at that point. No offense to and that's not a knock on Woods. Like, Woods was never in bad shape, but Woods is in such good shape now that he looked bad shape then. That's by the way, that's not the first time we're talking about somebody who looks fantastic tonight. Because I can't wait to get to that Rumble and talk about him. Because my God, he looked incredible tonight. Anyways, our next match was Leo Sparrow basically doing an open challenge. He came out and he talked some shit. And then the M&M hit. And now, I'm assuming he doesn't have this theme music at his other job. I'm going to guess he doesn't come out to The Way I Am at his other job. But I don't watch enough AEW to know. But maybe Conrad, if he's still in the chat, can let me know. Because I don't think Hook's entrance music is The Way I Am by Eminem on AEW. That caught me by surprise. I didn't expect that. Also, let's be honest. Of the people who work for AEW, Hook is not the one who's generally out working the indies. This was my first experience with Hook. And I'll be honest with you. I kind of liked it. He's not. I've heard a lot about Hook. A lot. And I see why the girlies like him. He's a bit of a pretty boy. He's not Bishop Khan pretty. Like we're getting a little bit of a ranking here. He's not Bishop Khan pretty, but he's got the hair. He's got the pretty boy face. He's fine, I guess. But like, I get why the girlies like him. I think he's got a good style. I think he's got a good, interesting style. I wish he'd get better working punches. That would be my only thing. The one downfall I saw of the entire match here with Hook was I thought Hook's working punches were a bit obvious. And by the way, we'll get into other people having working issues because I've got a problem with Ryan Clancy later on. But no, I thought this was a really fun match. I thought Leo Sparrow did exactly what Leo Sparrow needed to do here. Hook is really good. Like, there's a lot to like about Hook. I think as he gets better, as he improves, as he continues in this business, he's a young kid. Like, he's got time to be great. And I think just getting out there and working more is going to make him that much better. I liked what I saw from Hook. I thought it was really fun. I thought it was really interesting. And it was a bit of a surprise. Like, I know that they were saying, like, we knew Hook was here. We knew he was doing a signing. We didn't know he was competing. Like, that's the cool thing about the indies is, like, you can have people come in who are being told that you're just seeing them as a meet and greet. And that's cool. Like meeting AEW superstar Hook. That's something that will get people in the door to do a meet and greet. And then surprising him with, well, you're already here. Do you want to get in the ring and take a couple bumps? Sure. Throw on a red rum, call it a day. Good. 6 minutes in, 6 minutes out. We're all done and over with. It was exactly what it needed to be. I liked it. What do you think, Astrid?
Yeah, for me, I like Hook, and he's one of those like almost like cool kid kind of characters. If you think about it, that way is how I can describe him. So it's he does his thing, and he's in and he's out, and that's how it goes. And yeah, you can tell in this match because the match is what maybe 6 minutes, 7 minutes, more or less. Yeah, it goes by really quickly too. I do like the way he works out, and that he's not tall, so put it like that. He doesn't look like a powerhouse, but he works like he is. So it makes him look differently when you look at him when he wrestles. The thing I found with Sidney was the spot with the salad that was like almost like stupid to me in a way. I was like, okay, I guess. But again, it's like I'm used to Hulk having like shorter matches like this or being in tag team matches when he's not in long. So for me, this was ordinary Hulk. So it's not much for me to like really say about this compared to you.
Well, like I said, it's one of my first times getting to really see him in the ring. And like I said, I think he's got a vibe to him. He's got a vibe. He's got a feeling. He brings an energy to the ring. And there are things you can't, as Enzo Amore would say, there are certain things in this wrestling business that you just can't teach. Hook has it. He has that it factor to him. And I really like that it factor to him. Like I said, everything else can come with time. Like his work in the ring is really good. Like don't let me say that I think his working punches are bad. Like I wanted to find some negative to this because it's a 6-minute match and there's really nothing that happens of substance in it. But like the only thing I could see is that some of his working punches are just a bit wibbly wobbly. It is what it is. But I love everything. Yes. I already messaged you about this, STG. As soon as, by the way, STG, the guys may not tell you this yet. I don't know if you guys have heard this, but in the POV chat, we all predicted our Super Bowls. I'm the only one to have anybody left in that because everybody else picked other teams that are all now eliminated, and I got both teams right. So this is the exact Super Bowl I wanted to see happen, and now I get it. And now it's me versus STG, which will be fun and interesting. Yeah, not much more to say about the Hook match. There wasn't much to it. It was good for what it was. Nothing wrong with it. But we needed it. You needed that little bit of a come down. Like, this is a really good roller. Like, if you've ever played WWE 2K25, this is your second match. You have the up in the beginning, and here's your bit of a down. Because you got to let the crowd kind of relax and get ready. Because, boy, did they need to get ready, as the next match is our AEW World Championship being defended on the Independents. I think this is, if I remember correctly, this is the second time that the AEW World title is defended on an independent show. Because I believe, didn't Adam Page and Pac have a match for the AEW title on the Independents? Remember correctly?
I can't recall.
Yeah. I loved this, especially with what came after the match. Yes, MJF versus Alec Price. We'll skip to this now, and then we'll get back to the match in a minute. After the match, MJF goes ahead and cuts a really lengthy promo where he talks about how good Alex Price is and how he was sent here by Tony Khan to go ahead and see if Alex Price could hang with the best in AEW. And he says, not only did Alex Price hang, Alex Price proved something to me tonight. And then he made not only Alex Price, but Jordan Oliver all elite, which is a really cool thing to do on the independent scene. The other thing about this is that MJF is the first ever Limitless champion. This is one of his favorite promotions. If you happen to catch on social media, MJF actually did a promo on social media for this match, which is something he rarely does for any independent wrestling match that he does. And he talked about how much Limitless Wrestling there were two promotions to him that basically made MJF who MJF is. The first is Create a Pro, where he was trained. The second is Limitless, where he became MJF. This is the company that molded MJF into who he is. It allowed him to be who he is. I love the idea of bringing your world title to the independents. I love him talking about being like a Ric Flair of the new age. Now, and again, we know what he meant by that. We know he doesn't mean to be Ric Flair like Ric Flair. We know he means that he's going to be a traveling world champion. I love the idea of having a world title defended on an independent show, especially with this whole, like, if you win, you're in kind of thing, like the WWE ID Women's Championship. Mm-hmm. One of the best things about that ID title is the fact that ripping off.
I mean, Ric Flair to be clear.
I mean, MJF's cameos are $500. If you're stupid enough to pay $500 for an MJF cameo, you get what you get, and you'd be happy with it.
No, but yes, he means about Flair, though, just in case.
No, I know exactly what he's talking about. I'm just saying that in MJF's defense, if you were stupid enough to pay $500 for a cameo with MJF, you get what you get. And if he rips you off, well, then you're just stupid enough to pay $500. But no, Bobby's right. An old-style NWA champion that travels the territories. I love that, especially with the – and like I said, that's why the ID titles are so cool, because it's that idea of if you win, you're in. Only certain people get to have these opportunities. We choose what people are potentially going to get this opportunity because we like you already. So if we're going to defend the title here for you, and I would love one of these days to have one of these people do it. Somebody outside the ID program needs to beat Laynie Luck. And one of these days, I want to see a big major television championship on a TV brand be defended at an indie show and have that guy lose. I want to see something like that. Just imagine the numbers that a Raw or a SmackDown or a Dynamite would do, or an Impact, if you open the show with footage from a local independent scene where all of a sudden we have a new world champion. Like, how cool would that be? Getting into that, this is my match of the night. This is, as I said earlier, this is on the short list already for my matches of the year. This match was sensational. The heel work of MJF, the character work of Alex Price, the in-ring talent of the Northeast Beast, Alex Price, the Prize City OG. Commentary continuously putting over how hard Alex Price has worked to get to the spot where MJF already is. Yes. But the match of the year list starts January 1st, and you shortlist matches and you start taking them off as the year goes on, my brother. You don't wait till December and go, oh shit, what were my matches of the year? Because then all the matches in January you've since forgotten. I thought this was sensational. I loved everything that MJF did here. The idea that MJF had a difficult time taking on a guy like Alex Price. Mm-hmm. And he made Alex Price look great throughout this entire match. Like, Alex Price would hit his big moves, and MJF didn't just kick out. He, at one point, grabs the bottom rope. On the other one, he waits to like 2.95 to get that shoulder up at that last moment. Like, he did such a good job. And MJF's heel work in Maine was so good that it was just a sensational match from beginning to end. It felt all of the 23 minutes and 50 seconds that this match took. But at the end of the day, I wasn't unhappy to have sat here for almost 25 minutes and watched this match, because I think it earned every single minute that it took to do that. They didn't really slow it down much at all. They worked a slower style than Dijak and Cole did, but they didn't work a slower style by much, because Alex Price is that guy. He's that damn good. All of you who watch AEW are going to be pleasantly surprised and enjoy the work of Alex Price going forward, because the Busta and the Brain are here in AEW, and y'all aren't ready for that. Ashley, what you got?
Yeah, ironically that I got to watch him on Dynamite before I even got to watch this, and Collision technically as well. And I can tell you, they were even more impressive in person than what I thought it was gonna be. To be honest, because I'm trying to remember the order because I know they went against FTR. I believe it was for
That was
Dynamite.
Dynamite. That's the Dynamite match.
Yeah, and then they went against Davis and Doyle. I think that was for Collision, if I remember correctly. And I can tell you, both matches are so different, but yet you're still able to see how great they are. And I love the fact that even when they lose, they're able to showcase themselves in such a way that the crowd was so impressed with them. And I love being able to, like, listening to the crowd's reactions with everything they did together, because they had that type of, like, what I call, they like to see the machine gun type of communication. They do it so well, and this is one of those communications that I still don't know how they do it, but it works great. And I call it that because they're so smoothly the way they help each other out, and you can barely see them talking to each other or anything like that. For me, similar with is Austin and Chris Bay was another team that was always like that for me as well. Their communication, it's so smoothly done, so great. And again, and then I watched this and I was like, well, is they're very consistent in that aspect of it with the performances, because they still working so many different people and they're still able to showcase themselves in such a way that I was so impressed by them. um like I said, because I had the opportunity to go to AEW this past week, and because of the weather in Texas, then at first I didn't notice, I didn't know about it. They announced it during the show, but because of the weather in Texas and they canceled the Collision in Texas, and they gave it to us instead. So we had two shows for the price of one, which I was not expecting, because I was expecting it's a 2 hour Dynamite. I was out. So I tried to stay there as long as I could because I had work the next day. But really grateful that I still had the opportunity to be able to watch these two team up, because it was just amazing to watch it live. I will not forget it. And even watching this one, just like I can see, I can translate it to what I'm watching on YouTube there as well. And yeah, it's like they did amazing. I am not an MJF fan, but I think he did great in this match. Mine is not a character thing, more it's like a personal thing. I'm not a MJF fan whatsoever, but I can say bias aside, he did really well with Alec here. Like you said, really showing him off too and balancing out of the fact that you're not gonna beat me because I'm the world champion, but I'm also gonna make you look good on the way out either way. And he did that exactly. And I like the fact that they announced them being all elite for this too, and just be able to watch it right. This after I watched them in person, it was pretty cool. So overall, yeah, this is one of the matches I think. Yeah, of all of them, I think this is the one I enjoy the most, and I think Dezmond and Dijak will be the other one as well.
Yeah, it's kind of hard to pinpoint just how good this match really was. It is available for free. Fuck you, Bobby. It is available for free on YouTube already. So if you want to watch just this match, it's already on the Limitless Wrestling YouTube channel. You can go right up here to Limitless Wrestling on YouTube, and you can just find it and just watch that. If you don't want to watch the whole show, just watch that match. Boom, it's already up there. It's free. You don't have to pay nothing for it. Free 99. It's the best price in wrestling.
As my Luis would say, if it ain't free, it ain't for me. And I learned that from him.
Well, after something else that was free for you, let's talk about Becca with the B3 boys trying to take the WWE Women's ID Championship from Laynie Luck. What you got?
Let me see. Okay, there we go. This one, it was better than the one that she had with Olivia. That's the one I was like comparing it to while I was watching this. And I liked it a lot more. I like the fact that Becca tries to take advantage several times with having Vecchio and Ortiz at ringside. I think one of my favorites like spots was at one point they're holding Laynie over like the middle rope, and she comes in and she hits her. It's almost like the way, I don't want to say a drop kick, but it looked kind of similar to a drop kick because she hit her on the way down. I think that was pretty cool. And I like the fact that they have a great back and forth here. I feel like this was better than the Olivia match that I had seen. I keep trying to like think back of like matches like, okay, she went against this person, this one worked out really well, and then she went against that person, that didn't work out as well. And I feel like this one worked out a lot better in that aspect. And there were so many instances that it looked like Laynie was winning and you weren't even sure. And I like the back and forth here because they made it seem like, oh, she's just like at 2.99 and you never know if she's gonna win it or not. And I love being at the edge of my seat in that type of way. I knew there wasn't no title change because I would have seen it on social media. But aside from that, it's one of those matches that kept me wondering. It's like, oh, it's because that bit it because it felt that way in so many aspects in the match. Um, yeah, I like the fact when the guys try to assist and at one point it just backfires on them too. And yeah, I feel like at the end, Laynie still looks pretty good in the match. And like you said, I feel like the one thing with that I would like to see with Laynie, just have one of those like I'd like to see one of the other girls get the opportunity they can beat her to see how different that will be with them as WID champion and giving in the WID contract. Like how does that work out with Laynie having it now versus her losing? I think that's something that would be very interesting if it does happen, like on an indie show, for example.
Yeah, I think the ID titles are so interesting because it opens this door for if you want to just get somebody, you just give them the ID title, and there are so many great names out there. But just being in these matches means that you're being in front of people like Gabe Sapolsky and all the WWE people that are keeping an eye on these matches. And even if you lose, like a Becca lost here, it still gives you that bonus because even though you lost, you're gaining something out of it because they've watched you now. Not only have they watched you before, but now they've seen you versus quote unquote one of theirs. It's the same thing with why MJF versus Alec Price was so important for Alex Price, is because even though you lost, you're one of them now. You've seen them, they've seen what you can do, and now Alex Price and Jordan Oliver are all elite. Hopefully Becca gets that opportunity in the near future to become WWE ID'd, or she can become all elite if she wants. Either or. As long as she's on my television screen, that'd be great. But like I said, I wonder what will happen to the Becca character. This is a fun match. I really enjoyed this match. It's one of Laynie's better matches that we've gotten the opportunity to talk about. I still have to go back and watch the ID showcase match between her and Eric Academia. I have not yet been able to go ahead and snag a viewing of that. But that's one that's on my to-do list to go ahead and see. I'll leave the Ivelisse match off my watch list. I think I can safely ignore that one. I don't think that's going to be of any importance to me whatsoever. And then we get to the next match. I think it was a match. It didn't last very long, but sure, it was a match. Starstruck of Anthony Greene and Channing Thomas lose to Eddie Kingston and Aaron Ortiz in 2 minutes. No, sorry, Angel Ortiz, not Aaron Ortiz. Although now that I say it, Aaron Ortiz and Eddie Kingston versus Angel Ortiz and Anthony Vecchio is now something I want to see. I want to see this. So I want to swap the Ortizes and see what happens. But no, Eddie Kingston and Angel Ortiz. Now, again, this match loses big points for me because Ortiz was not being the smooth operator that he was at the last show that we watched with him.
Bingo.
That lost points for me on that. Seeing Eddie Kingston back in the ring is always fantastic. Eddie Kingston is a true gentleman and a scholar and a favorite of mine. Coming off that horrific injury that he suffered. I think it was Gabe Kidd, if I remember correctly. He was wrestling Gabe Kidd and then he broke his leg on the barricade. Yeah, this match was all of like 2-3 minutes. I feel like Starstruck had more going on before the match with Sidney than the match took to do the match. But like I said, that's fine. Like, these guys are both going to be big parts of the Limitless Rumble coming up next after the intermission. So you don't want them to have a big, long match anyways, especially Channing, who's going to be in relatively early and last right towards the end. So I think having a match like this on a show like this makes sense. I'd be livid with this match if it weren't for the fact that the Rumble was coming up later. Like, this is a way to be like, get Kingston and Ortiz on the show, get them in the meet and greet, let them work a match, take a few bumps, and then, Starstruck is going to do most of their work and make most of their money in the Rumble. Like, that's the saving grace for this, because otherwise I'd have a much different view of this than otherwise.
Yeah, this is one of those, and it was a match, and it happened because the bell rang. I haven't had one of those in a while.
No, we haven't had to cover NXT lately.
Yeah, and so I was on the fence about this one because I was thinking the same thing you were, but on the other side of the coin, I was also disappointed because I like Eddie and I like Ortiz, but I also like Starstruck, so I was hoping for a little bit more than what this was because there was nothing that really stood out in this match. I was like, I know you're not gonna try anything like crazy, crazy because they're both in the Rumble, like you said, but I was expecting just a little bit more because it's all four of these people that I really, really like, and it just wasn't it. That's the only example that I had in the match. And it was so short, but like you said, it's like I understand that they want to make sure that they have a little bit of breather before the rumble happens and they have a short intermission in between. But yeah, I was like, okay. And I was like, oh, okay, they won, and that was it. It felt so like quiet. So I just, if I could put it, this was my least favorite one on the whole card, and I hate to say that.
Yeah, it was not my least favorite because of the people involved. And by the way, I had a good time with the whole thing around the match. Like the Starstruck thing before the match, I thought was really cute and fun and interesting with like Sidney Bakabella doing like really big introductions and calling Sam LaTurner Rich Palladino because Rich is normally the ring announcer for this, but he had it's a show on a Friday night. He had other obligations. I believe he was working MLW this night. No, he was working for Beyond Wrestling. This was the same night as the Wildest Dreams show that happened with the Jonathan Gresham return to the ring. Which, by the way, might be a show we cover in the near future because we don't have a show for next week because what we had planned for next week has unfortunately fallen through. So we're gonna have to. Well, we'll have news for you on what's going to happen next week in a few days when I figure out what was going to be. Otherwise, I liked all of this stuff. I thought it was really fun and interesting. It did the thing it needed to do. No, there is a show next week. No, there is no show that we know we're watching yet, but there will be a show next week. This show will happen almost every week, rain or shine, snow or not. This show will happen. We get our intermission. It's fine. It's dandy. We come back and we get one match left, the Limitless Rumble. All right, Astrid, we are gonna talk about. I mean, sometimes yes, she has to allow it. Most of the time, I just say we're doing something and we do it.
Anyway.
I'm kidding. It's very 50-50. No. Anyways, all right, Astrid. People who we're not going to talk a lot about in this Rumble that we're going to go ahead and just talk about now. And then we'll talk more about most of them, the other ones later on. Adam Booker. It was fun to see him back in the ring. You've never heard of him before. I've heard the name before. He's a local New England legend. It was fun to see him back in the ring. He's a trainer for Pine State Wrestling School, which is also aligned with Ace Romero. We'll talk about him more later. 23 Hazard was in this match. New England's favorite jobber. I hate this guy. I wish I never had to watch him wrestle again. I can't stand him ever. I never want to watch this man wrestle at all, ever. He has X-Pac go away heat for me. Like every time he's on my screen, I just want to turn it off because I just despise. I don't feel like he's a good wrestler. I don't feel like he's entertaining. I don't feel like he's anything good. He is just the worst person I've ever watched. Shut up. Let's see. Who else can we talk about here? We can talk about the sadness that Bobby Casale lasted about 40 seconds in this match. I was very excited to talk a lot about Bobby Casale, and then and then he got the Daniel Puder treatment, which they mentioned on commentary, which I thought was cute. That's about all we can mention about Bobby Casale. We can talk about Jermaine Marbury and Benny the basketball. This is your first experience with Jermaine and Benny. What did you think?
That was ridiculous. I'm sorry.
So, for those that don't know, I'm going to go ahead and pull up a picture of this because it's just that good. So, Jermaine Marbury comes out like in a basketball jersey. Like his whole thing is that he likes basketball. And he has a friend who comes to the ring with him. And it's Benny the basketball. and well, hold on. I'll just
I
do.
know it's one of those matches that's supposed to be a fun match, but at the same time,
Come on, Astrid. What up, Math Champion? We greatly appreciate you. Thank you for stopping by again. We greatly appreciate it. Astrid, look at the smile on these men's faces. How can you hate this?
No. It's a no for me.
Fine, Simon Cowell.
It's like, I know it's supposed to be fun. Okay, I'll say this. Okay, I liked it better than the Dreamwave Uprising one because I told Ed I like the fact that they have the nameplates. So either way, I know who's who. I like the fact that Sam, you could hear Sam announcing who's who at the same time, even though sometimes you couldn't hear the eliminations, but I was keeping up with them as much as I could. Um, I like that you could hear everything. There's also the camera angle, so the people in commentary knew the theme songs of the people that like it couldn't be it can't be this person, and then whoever shows up at the curtain. I like that fact because if we had the issue in Uprising and Dreamwave that they don't recognize the theme songs until the person goes out through the curtain. So I was like, oh my god, this is so much better. I prefer that. The part I wasn't a fan of was wasting, and yes, I said wasting spots on the freaking basketball and Sidney, of course, too. That was terrible. It's like you could have put it on the wrestler to get an opportunity. They had to be Sidney of all people. That's the only thing that frustrated me about this whole match. But and then it felt really long too, because when I looked at it later, it's a whole hour match. And it's like when it started, and I kept looking at the end time, I was like, there's no way. There has to be at least 5 minutes for a celebration or something. No, it literally lasted a whole hour. So it was fun, but it was also exhausting at the same time because I'm working when I'm watching this. Yes, I'm doing double duty. And I'm taking notes of like the entries and who's getting eliminated, trying to keep up with as much as I could with my notes. And I needed to pause it every couple of minutes to like, okay, I need a moment. I need a break from this before I continue watching it. But overall, it was still fun. I enjoyed the match more than the other like Rumble type of matches that we've seen so far. So I feel like production wise, it was a lot better in that aspect of it compared to the other companies.
Yeah, I was going to say the same thing. I love the fact that commentary constantly gave us a reaction every time the music hit. Yeah. And the other thing is, when things were happening off camera as they were trying to get to the entrances, they would tell us things that were happening so that we knew, like, oh, this person's not here anymore. Oh, they were eliminated. There's one where Jada Stone got eliminated. And they said it 3 times while the person was coming out. Jada Stone just got pressed over the top rope. She's been eliminated. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Like, yes, it sucks that we didn't get to see that happen. But at least we hear it. We know it. Commentary was on top of everything. When something happened, commentary was on top of it. Troy and Johnny were fantastic and again, this is not a knock at Limitless. This is not a knock. This is not a knock for Dreamwave and Uprising. We love them. They do great work. But we said with both of the Good as Gold matches, we said the one thing that needed to improve was the ability of the commentary to keep up with what's going on in the ring, and especially with eliminations. And we've said a couple of times, music hits and it feels like they never know who's who. Yeah. And I get it. Indie music can change from venue to venue, from company to company. And trust me, music can change apparently at the last minute with no warning, apparently. But I had to take that shot. I'm sorry. Anyways.
I was waiting for it all this whole time.
Thank you, Mike. Somebody who knows exactly what I'm talking about. Yeah, just that was cold as ice. No, okay, we're done now. But yes.
Oh my god.
Math Champion. If you just search RCW January, you'll find all you need to know. That's all I'll say.
Yeah. Oh my god.
Honestly, I didn't know if there was anybody other than you that I'd pop with a comment other than like you and Bobby, and then Mike's just here out of nowhere with it, so it just works. Anyways, Other people that were in this match that we're not really going to get to talk about. Ryan O'Neal. Flying Ryan O'Neal. It was my first opportunity seeing him. I thought it was really interesting. Looking forward to seeing more of Ryan O'Neal. We've seen Jordan Kross a couple times in our Dreamwave shows. I would have liked to have seen more of him in this. I'm just here for head pudding. Never expected that. Sometimes I deliver more than people expect. It is what it is.
I'm just waiting to see how long it took you. Like, even if it took you this long. Oh my god!
You wait for an opportunity, Astrid. I don't just mention things willy-nilly.
I know. Oh my gosh.
Darren Richardson. What promotion? I really wish I knew this now because I can't. Is it House of Glory or is it
yes,
GCW?
House of Glory they mentioned.
Okay, the House of Glory. All right, so he's the House of Glory Cruiserweight Champion then.
Yeah, that's what they mentioned.
I want to see.
Really... Sorry, go ahead.
I was going to say I just want to see more of him. I really enjoyed the little bit of work we got from him. I thought was really fun and interesting.
The one I also liked that he had a decent amount of time, but I wish I would have seen more was Flying Ryan.
Yeah,
I really liked him. Yeah, so far. I really like how he was one of the people that I really enjoyed the way he just came in and really took over at that moment. And he took over for a little bit, not just the like usual amount of time that people are doing. I really like that. So that was one that really like stood out to me, aside from the people that we usually watch that I'm already familiar with. I really liked him. I just wish I would have seen a little bit more. Ironically, okay, this is gonna be a funny one for you, and don't give me a moment and let me explain it to you entirely. So I had the cage match open, but I only put the card like I usually do on my Google Doc, like you've seen it. So at that point, I see it says Keegan Garland, and he comes out, and I was like, "Oh, he looks like a younger version of Scotty Too Hotty." And I was like, "Oh, that's cute." Yes. And I went, "Oh," and they're like, "Oh yeah, it's something about like his dad or whatever." And then 2 entries later, "Oh, Scotty Too Hotty's gonna go against his son."
Yes.
And I went, I knew it. I knew you looked so familiar.
Scott Garland, Scotty Too Hotty.
I forgot what his last name was, okay? So in my mind, I just see his son come out, and I was like, "Oh, that's cute. He looks like a mini version of Scotty Too Hotty, basically." Yeah. So I was like, "Oh, I like how he is. It looks so fun." And then when they mentioned, and they started doing the too cool like section of this match, I went, I should have known. And I went, I'm just gonna tell Ed the way it happened because I know it's gonna make him laugh. It's gonna make him laugh the way it just popped in my brain, and I didn't want to put it in my notes so that I want you to know about it ahead of time. But once I saw that, I went, well, I learned something new.
All right, for other people in this match that we're going to talk a bit more about throughout this, the B3 boys were in here for seemingly ever. They did a fantastic job being the boys who got beat up by everybody in this match. I thought that was really good and really fun and interesting. It's a great use of the Shooter Boys because it keeps them out there. It keeps us interested in them. It keeps us seeing them. But at the same time, they didn't really have to do a lot. They just had to sell a lot. And you know what? In a Rumble, that's kind of all you need to do. It got them out there. We've talked glowingly about the Shooter Boys multiple times. We love the Shooter Boys. We think they're one of the best tag team wrestlers in the world right now. So it is indeed fantastic. I mean, Mike has much better clips than anything I can give him. Don't worry about that. Anyways, other people we need to talk about. The Sidney Bakabella family. So, I didn't give you this going in, but I'll give it to you now. The Sidney Bakabella family has been a group that's been terrorizing the Limitless Wrestling group scene for years. And it's constantly evolving. Yeah. It's constantly evolving. It's involved people like Aiden Aggro. It's involved Channing Thomas, Anthony Greene, Dijak. All of these people, and they've been basically just running the scene and doing all of the things. And one of the things they did is they made Danger Kid leave the company. However, Danger Kid has, we'll say, evolved into their new form. We'll take a Pokemon reference for this one. into Daffney, DeVille.
Mm-hmm.
Sensational. I loved this. And commentary nailed this because this is something I missed. I knew that Danger Kid had left. I knew that Danger Kid was part of the MSP, the Main Street Posse. They were a tag team partner with Aiden Aggro. And I knew that they had lost a match and that they were out of Limitless Wrestling. I did not know about the transformation. And this was a huge surprise. And I loved the way it worked, where like she came out, DeVille came out, and she was like, she had the chain and she gave the chain to Channing Thomas. And he's like, aha, we win, haha, she's with us now. And they're doing the handshakes and they're doing the thing. And then she super kicks Channing and she goes ahead and beats down Greene. It was just such good work. And the camera work was on point and the commentary was on point, giving us the exact information we needed. Now, granted, they didn't give us all the information we needed. I filled Ashton in a bit on some of the stuff that they didn't talk about. And I understand why they didn't, but I wish they would have gone a little bit more in.
It's more personal than storyline at that point. So I understand too.
I agree, but they led us right to the edge and they made you do the legwork to go the rest of the way. And I just wish they would have said it.
Yeah.
They were like, Danger Kid lost the match. They didn't say anything about DeVille. It's like, you've brought us right to the point. Just say the thing. But I thought this was great representation. And again, wonderful storytelling. Let's talk a minute for Ace Romero. AC Baby, big boy season was indeed in full effect here, but much less big boy season than I'm used to. AC Baby's lost some weight. He's looking great. No, you disagree?
I've never seen it before.
Yes, you have.
Not that I recall.
We've talked about Ace Romero on this show before.
I didn't remember him, to be honest. I'm looking now.
Ace Romero. He was in TNA for a long time.
I don't know. I keep looking, but I didn't remember them.
So hold on. I'm pulling it up. Give me a second.
Yeah, I'm looking over, but
so this is Ace Romero years ago.
Yeah, no. Can't remember.
And this is Ace Romero now. Hold on. Let me get a current picture of Ace Romero.
Yeah, I can. Let me see what else. I was trying to look sorry, at the past matches to see if I had seen something before.
I mean, just sensational work by Ace Romero. To get slimmed down, to get into shape. It's just absolutely sensational. Love the work of Ace Romero. He's a chaotic regular. He was part of the unit for a while, which is, I think, where we would have talked about him. I think we would have talked about him on a chaotic show. But like I said, he worked TNA for a long time, especially during the pandemic. He's worked all over the Northern Indies. He's worked a lot of the Indies, as far as I know. And I thought he was a pretty regular face. Yeah. I love the work of him in this match. I also love the fact that he got to play the Rikishi role in the Too Cool dance segment. And then they did their homework and they threw him out. Like, he did the Rikishi heel turn. And again, they brought it up on commentary, payoff and receipt. I loved it because Troy talks about it. He's like, I wonder if Scotty's done his homework this time to know that Ace Romero might pull the Rikishi roll and throw him out. And then his own son threw him out of the Rumble. Yes. I'm like, mwah, chef's kiss. Great storytelling. Absolutely sensational. I loved it.
I think my favorite part of the storytelling in this match, though, was towards the end. That's when we had Daffney, we had Aggro, we had Gabby and Channing, like that whole face off. Like, there was like 5-on-3 is what they mentioned around those lines. It was more towards the last couple minutes of the match.
All right, so those 5 were Aaron Rourke,
Mm-hmm.
Gabby,
Gabby,
Aggro, and
Channing was one of
Bronson.
the.
Bronson. That was
Yeah.
were the 5
Mm-hmm.
on the babyface side.
No, that was after Bronson got eliminated. The part that I'm talking about.
No, okay, I know, but at that point, Daphne's already been eliminated. That's why I was saying that you're.
No, but yeah, the one I'm picturing was it was Daffney, Aggro. I know Channing was on this side. I think Gabby was on the other side here too, and they were like, "Oh, is that like a 5-on-3 as everything with them?" Mason was on this side. I remember that much.
Yeah, it was Mason, Channing, and Hazard, and then it was Dez, it was Bear, it was Gabby, it was Aggro, and it was Aaron Rourke. Those are the final 8.
I like more than anything the eliminations in this part here with like the whole Daffney part, and even Aaron, because Aaron at one point there's so many points that he's hesitant about what he's doing, and then mentioning commenting is like, oh, he wanted like I forgot who was trying to eliminate Gabby at that point, and Aaron's like this like, oh, I want to help eliminate, but I don't want to get involved, and like you can see him conflicted about trying to help out and going that way, and then when Gabby is on the other side of it though. It's Gabby, Rourke, and Channing. I think it was the other person. She sees Aaron and Channing like stumbling there, almost out. And instead of like having that moment, she also has this, but she sees both of them like almost out, and she basically helps herself. So like, I'm gonna take them both down, and they both get out. So I really like that storytelling. That was super interesting to watch. At the end, how they like had the moments that they struggle over, like whether do I help or do I not help? They're about to get eliminated. Do I help out with that? So I think that was my favorite parts of like the eliminations as a whole was that um it was more towards the end, like whole storytelling that between all the everybody involved. I feel like that was really really well done.
Yeah, I love that final 8s from everything from the final 8 when they had to stand up the 5-on-3 standoff all the way to the end was just sensational storytelling. Since you talked about that, I'm going to go ahead and talk about the star of the match for me and somebody I need to watch more of. My one to watch, Ox Adams. Everything they did in the beginning with Ox Adams was sensational. With everybody like trying to run up and hit him. That dude's massive. I loved what they did with him, and I thought he was great for comedy, but also great for just hard work and something. I want to see him in a real match as opposed to a Rumble, because in a Rumble, a guy like him gets a lot of really interesting spots to do. I want to see what he can do on a regular basis in other aspects. Very excited to see more of Ox Adams. My negative of the night on this match, Ryan Clancy. You can't miss your fucking drop kick, sir.
Was it him? I still remember.
Channing.
There's somebody.
He tries to hit Channing with a drop kick, and he completely misses him.
No, but it wasn't that part that also I'm thinking of. I don't know if it was with Scotty, that Scotty tried to eliminate somebody. I don't know if it was the clothesline, but the person was a little bit before the ropes. And I think it was Ryan, and he basically had to eliminate himself at that point because he wasn't close enough to the ropes to do it. And I was like, that's the only part that I went,
Yeah, Ryan had a bit of a rough night here. Also, watching Ryan work babyface with Gabby Forza, after having watched all the Gabby Forza Ryan stuff from Beyond Wrestling the other week for the New Year's Eve show, was a bit difficult. I'll be honest. The wrestling fan in me really hated the back and forth. It's one of the things I love and hate about the independent wrestling scene is having those times where you go back and forth between babyface and heel. In one place you're a babyface, in one place you're a heel. And seeing Ryan working with Gabby was so odd and strange. But being able to see Gabby and Bear in the ring together, with Bear being announced as a TNA superstar, was just
with the name
fun.
banner,
with the name banner and everything. Yeah, it was just, it was great. People in this match, just so we can get a complete listing of everybody in this match. Ace Romero entered first. The B3 boys entered collectively at number 2. Aaron Ortiz and Anthony Vecchio. In third, we had Beef. Not much to say about him. He was in here for a long time. I didn't see a lot that I loved. I didn't see a lot that I hated. I'd be intrigued with more about Beef, but there wasn't a ton for me there. Bobby Casale came in, came out. I wish I would have had more. Ryan O'Neal, Bobby Orlando, Jada Stone, Ryan Clancy, Ox Adams, Jermaine Marbury, Benny the Basketball, Gabby Forza, Charles the Root of All Evil Mason, Keegan Garland, 23 Hazard, Scotty Too Hotty, Channing Thomas, Jordan Oliver, Darren Richardson, Anthony Greene, Jordan Kross, J-Heru, was fantastic to see him again. I haven't seen him in a while. Adam Booker, Aiden Aggro, Brittnie Brooks. That was a surprise. I didn't see her on any of the marketing materials. You figure if you're going to have Brittnie in, that you would announce her ahead of time. Sidney Bakabella, Daffney DeVille, Bear Bronson, Dezmond Cole. In our 30th entrant and our second to last person eliminated, Aaron Rourke, the man who was going to turn heel and ruin Gabby Forza's life in Limitless Wrestling. That poor friendship is not going to sustain this betrayal.
No.
It's every man and woman for themselves until you eliminate me in the final two. You ruin my chances of getting my opportunity at the World Championship back again. But that was indeed Limitless Rumble. Astrid, your first trip to Maine, your first trip to Limitless Wrestling. Are we coming back?
Yeah, I enjoyed it for the most part. Even though, because it's something that I've been telling Ed that I rather, because of not only my attention, but for my own sake of my mental health, because I want to be able to do my things too. The show was technically almost 4 hours, but it had some kind of breaks in between. So we'll say like it was mostly almost like 3 hours. And it went by pretty quick for the most part, except for the Rumble, because I was paying attention to like so many details. But overall, I like the pacing of it too overall.
Yeah, it was a 4-hour show on YouTube, but there's on the YouTube version, there's a half an hour pre-show, and there's about a half an hour intermission as well, 20 to 30 minute intermission. So when you pull those out and knowing going in that there's those two things, like I specifically told you, I'm like, look, this show's 4 hours, but there's about 50 minutes that you just can ignore completely. It's like it's a 3-hour show, and then that's a much more desirable, watchable amount of wrestling in that place. And like we said, it was 7 matches. Yes, some of the matches got a lot of time. The Rumble got an hour. MJF got 23 minutes. But overall, everything got fairly the right amount of time. Nothing, with the exception of a Rumble, which always feels long, always feels drawn out, always feels too long. Everything else felt like it fit. The timelines fit, with the exception of we needed more time for Starstruck and Kingston and Ortiz. Who is your one to watch for this show? Who's the one that you're going to go, this is somebody I need to keep my eyes on?
So I would say between two for me. Flying Brian was one of them from the Rumble, because I liked how he came in, and he was there a decent amount of time, but I wanted more from him. And I'm trying to remember. And Darren Richardson, that was the other one that I really liked from the Rumble match. Those are the two that I didn't know about before this. Aside from the people that we have been covering, I'm familiar with these other two that I didn't know about, and that really stood out to me here.
Yeah, for me, it's absolutely Darren Richardson again. Okay, I guess we're going to have to try to watch some House of Glory at some point soon, because that seems to be a promotion. We got their world champion is Charles Mason, if I remember correctly from commentary. And again, thank you for commentary for telling us who holds championships in other promotions, going ahead and putting over other promotions in my professional wrestling. Oh no! Hey Mel, thank you for joining us. It's all right that you're late. You can go ahead and watch. You missed us talking a little bit about Anthony Greene. We talked about this much about Anthony Greene tonight, so you missed that. How many CPA shirts would you give the show? I know he's not on the show, but how many CPA shirts does Limitless Wrestling get?
Out of 5?
Out of 5. Always out of 5. It says it's the most shirts CPA can wear. If you think that man can wear 6 shirts, then that you're bolder man than
I. I will give it at least a 4 out of 5.
Yeah, I think it's 4 or 4.5 out of 5. Like I said, it's brought up by the MJF Alex Price match. It's brought up by the Dezmond Cole Dijak match. It's brought down significantly by the tag team match that lasted 2 minutes and 4 seconds. And then it's up and down with the Rumble. There's a lot to like in the Rumble. There's a lot to be like. But I thought the comedy elements were good. I liked the comedy. I laughed at the comedy here. And I think that's the important thing. When you're going to introduce comedy into a Rumble, which, by the way, every promotion should introduce comedy into a Rumble. If you're going to do an hour-long match, there needs to be some fun in that. And if that's Bobby Orlando using Bobby Jr., otherwise known as a stuffed animal goat, to attack people with, that's fine. If it's to have a basketball be in the match as a competitor, that's fine. Don't listen to Ashford. That's fine. If it's to have Sidney Bakabella enter this match as a competitor, only to get the wig pulled off, and then to have J-Heru run him back to with the fucking silver wig on, it's all fantastic. Love it to death. Limitless Wrestling, we will be back. Again, we will tell you what's coming up on Twitter, on the Our Local Establishment Twitter, and you can find Our Local Establishment at all the wonderful places right down here. You've seen it on the bottom of the show, all show with the Ole podcast on Twitter, but that's also our place on all other handles of social media. So if you want to find us on TikTok, still don't understand the TikTok. And by the way, you should all be deleting your TikTok because of the new ownership there and the new rules there. Just saying, you should all be deleting your TikToks. Don't be getting involved in that. But the Instagram, the Twitter, all that fun stuff, you can always find us over here at Ole Podcast. Find us on YouTube at Our Local Establishment. Remember that we are now a YouTube partner, at least the first level of monetization. So if you want to hear me say dumb shit that you want to pay for, you can go ahead and watch us on our YouTube and go ahead and select the Super Chat feature. And for any Super Chat donation of more than $2, you get to enter a portion of text. The more you donate, the more money, the more you can type, the more silly shit you can make me say. You can also...
You already did that for free earlier, though.
I did do it for free earlier, but you can also make me say other stupid shit. So go ahead and do that. Astrid, tell the good people where they can find you this week.
You can find me on my Twitter. I barely use Blue Sky at this point. My Twitter is Astrid Pizarro. My Instagram and Threads is Astrid Pizarro 20. Let's see. I might put a little bit more about the AEW stuff. Not that the show is over. I didn't want to spoil too much about Collision before it aired. So yeah, I have a couple of videos from AEW this past week. And if anybody's going, I'm going to MLW for the first time. Not tomorrow, the day after, so Thursday. I keep forgetting what day it is. So yeah, I'll be there Thursday, Heritage Park for MLW for the first time. And I get to see Corbin again. Well, Bishop Dyer, I guess, if you want to call him that way.
Baron Corbin? Yes, we love Baron Corbin here. We love Bishop Dyer. Fantastic to see him on AEW, even if it was a I'm here to see friends. Hey, do you want to wrestle a match kind of thing? It's always good to see. We've been holding off on the MLW news for about what? A month and a half?
Yeah, more or less.
You can find me at all the stupid places down here. They don't matter. It is what it is. You can find me this weekend, Sunday night, at Check's Discord to see what time we officially picked. We've been chatting at it. All right. So Andre says it's 4:00 his time. So that means it's 7:00 Peggy time, which means it's 6:00 my time. So 6 Eastern, 7 Peggy time, 4 p.m. Canadian random time. We'll be doing Marvel Talks full review of Wonder Man. They are dropping all 8 episodes are already dropped. I have a lot of that to watch tonight and tomorrow to get ready for this show. I am very excited for that. But Marvel Talk is officially back. If you haven't seen our preview show, go watch that. We did that last weekend, so you can go ahead and check that out. That was a bunch of fun. Dyer remains in MLW as he was confirmed for Ring of Honor. Well, that's great. Astrid, Mel also hopes you get to see Kenta. As well as your orders about Anthony Greene. If you're to see him, you were to tell him that Mel Ball respects and loves him. So,
yes.
But yes, you can find all of our great stuff, including Bobby's interview with it's Jay something. The great ape, Jay Rilla. Jay Rilla, the great ape from Australian wrestling. I've been waiting for this interview for a while. I've heard it's been in the works for a while, and they were just narrowing down details. So I'm very excited for this interview. He's a big boy. If you've watched any of their Ring Respect radio reviews of their the Australian wrestling that we enjoy down there. Thank you all for joining us. We greatly appreciate it. We'll be back next Tuesday to talk about more independent wrestling as we get ready for WrestleMania week, which is Ashton, we're trying to narrow down those WrestleMania shows because there's already so many popping up with so many great matches. Also, promotions we're going to be covering in the near future. Girl Fright Wrestling is on our list to cover. We are covering, finally, we're going to be covering them in the new year. Eve, Riot Girls of Wrestling, we're going to be covering. I can announce this now. Wrestle Queendom is going to be covered on this show in the month of March. I'm very excited for this. I've committed Ashley to this, whether she likes it or not.
I want to watch it. What do you mean?
I'm just saying I have no idea how long this show is going to go because it's a Will Ospreay produced show. So this show could go 6 hours because Will Ospreay will book everybody and anybody. But I'm very excited for this show already, and they've only announced a handful of talent for this show. But we'll be making our first trip across the pond to cover Riot Girls of Wrestling. It's a promotion since the beginning of this show that we've wanted to watch for months and months. When we put this show together, it was on our short list of promotions to watch. And we've gone 6 months now and never watched any of their product. So we will be watching Eve, Riot Girls of Wrestling, Wrestle Queendom. Like I said, again, Girl Fight Wrestling. So you can tell how we narrow these things down. When there are all women's shows to watch, they typically hit to the front of the list. I wonder who helps make sure that happened. By the way, one of these was mine requested. One of these was hers requested. So it's basically the both of us. We both support women's wrestling. Make sure you support women's wrestling. All right. I've talked enough. I'm tired. I want to go. Astrid, do you have anything else to say tonight?
No, I'm gonna be a good person and stay quiet now.
Wow, be a good person. Does that mean I'm not a good person?
No, I'm gonna find something else.
Goodbye.
I am in misery.